This is the Apus MQ60 by FrSky, and this is my Christmas present to myself. So I thought I'd do a quick unboxing and a little mini review of it, see how we go. So this is how it came. It didn't come in any other box. I can tell what it is by the label there, stickers on the bottom, and yeah, that was it. This is actually a really nice case. So I haven't opened this yet, but I mean I can see inside, so I know what's there. So if I just take the sides off, quite clearly you should be able to reuse this case. It's a nice sealed case, quite like that. And this is the quad, so what I might do, I might just take that out, put that off to the side, and we'll go through what's in the rest of the box first. So this should be a charger for the battery, so it comes with one battery, and this is the little USB charger for it. I'll just get the tape off of that, pop it out. Yeah, so that's not a naked board, that's a actually shrink wrapped. Looks like it's got a little switch on the side, that says 500 milliamps and that says 200 milliamps, so it looks like you can switch it between 200 and 500, and it's already set to 200, which should be the size of the battery. And it's got two different connectors at the bottom. So this looks actually a bit more like a more generic USB charger than just for this quad. So maybe FrSky's got a plan to do a slightly bigger quad with a 500 milliamp hour battery. But it's nice that they include a charger. I don't know how good this is. I'll give it a try in a bit. It comes with a manual. Oh, it's quite a big manual. And there's more than that. Oh, there's heaps. Oops, let me get it up the right way. Yeah, so this is the manual for the charger and the quad itself. Oh, and it's got instructions as well. Okay, cool. So this tells you how to fly it in modes 1 and 2, how to connect the battery. This actually looks like quite a good manual. I'll take that away because I didn't realise that was making the camera go dark. I'll have a look through that and report back on how good that is in a bit. And that's it. So this box is now empty. That's the bottom of the container. I might leave that in there actually. Alright, so we'll get on to the star of the show. Let's move that off to the side and take that away. So this is obviously what we came for. This is the quad itself. So this is really small, as you can see. This is Inductrix size. So this is FrSky's equivalent to an Inductrix. It's a quad. It comes with a built-in camera, which is right there. Comes with a lens cap on it. There looks like there's no angle on the camera. If you look at that, I'll turn it that way around. That'd probably be a bit easy for you guys. If you look at that, that's pretty much flat on. That'll be interesting. There's not really a big problem on tiny quads like this. Yeah, there's not really much to say. So according to the site when I bought this has an F3 flight controller in it. Oh, actually, that's the battery. If I pull the battery out, we can see the board. So yeah, so there's a F3 flight controller in there. These are obviously brushed motors. I guess that might be a boot button or a bind switch. And yeah, it runs Betaflight, so there's a USB connector at the back, and you can actually update this with newer versions of Betaflight. This is supposedly good to fly out of the box, so it should come pre-tuned. I'm happy to give that a test and see how we go. So this is the battery that comes with it. This is a 200 milliamp. This looks like a standard sort of Inductrix type battery. I'm sure it's the same size, although I don't have another one to test with, but I'll be testing that as well at some point. But what I'll do, I'll give this a charge, and then we'll come back and give this a fly. Alright, so I've been reading the manual while the battery's been charged, and then I got bored and just pulled it out. So this is got some charge in it, but it's not fully charged. But I'm too excited and I want to give this a try. So the manual's actually pretty good. It goes through how to plug the battery into the charger, and it goes through how to set your radio up as well. So it says set up a new model, which I've done. Set channel 5 to be your arm switch, which I've done, and channel 6 to be your angle and horizon mode. So I've set up a channel 6. I'm not really planning on using it in any of those modes, but we'll set it up anyway. And it also has how to bind. So the switch under there is a bind switch, and you can use that to bind, in which case you would do it the same sort of way that you'd normally do one of the XM type receivers or any of the FrSky type receivers. But it also has a automatic bind mode, which I'm going to give a go. So to do that, what it says is to put your radio into bind mode, which I will do now as soon as I can get the right button. Okay, so the radio's in bind mode. Plug in the battery. Give it about 3 seconds. Yep, that went green and a red flashing light under it. I actually didn't even need to take the battery out. And then take that out of bind mode. Pull the battery, well, I can't get the battery out. Pull the battery out of that. And then we should be good. So if I plug that back in now, this should just sync up with the radio. So I'll plug that in. Yep, that's gone green. I don't know whether you can see it on the camera. I don't even know if you can see it on the camera when I do that. There's a little green light in there, and the red flashing light has gone away. So that should now be bound. So what I'm going to do is turn it over. And we're going to try and take off. We can try an arm anyway. Well, that's a good sign. Yeah. Don't try and fly one of those around on your desk. So yeah, that obviously worked. The other thing the manual's pretty good at is describing how the video works. So there's actually a button in the plastic on the side here, and you just cycle through like you normally would with a video receiver. So long hold changes the channel, short presses changes so long hold changes the band, and short presses changes the channels on that band. Yeah, so what I'm going to do now is go find my goggles, and then we'll give it a quick fly around the house. Alright, so there you have it. That was one of the first flights. I say one of because the first flight actually went straight backwards and ended up in all the junk at the back of my bench. So I guess now we just need to do my thoughts. Now, bearing in mind I've only flown this for about 2 minutes all up. I've put a single battery through it and that battery wasn't even fully charged. So it's not a bad little quad. It only costs 60 bucks, so it's not massively expensive. And that's a bonus. It was really easy to bind. They were right, it comes pre-tuned. I don't think you'd be able to tune it that much better than it already is. It being a brushless, that's probably not a bad thing. I mean, it's not going to take much to tune it anyway. Came with the battery, that's good. Came with the charger. As far as it flies, it lacks a bit of punch. Most of that was not full throttle, but in the sort of top quarter of the throttle. And you would have noticed that it sunk a few times while it was flying. I wasn't really adjusting the throttle that much, so it was doing that on its own. I suspect it was getting beaten about by my air conditioning. So it's not got punch, but then again it is only a 1-cell brushed quad. It's not ever going to have that much punch anyway. The camera's actually pretty good. The video was crystal clear. I mean, this is the video antenna. It's tiny, and I don't even know if you can see it. It's under my finger. And the video was pretty much crystal clear. There's 2 or 3 walls between me and the quad at its furthest distance, and the video didn't cut out at all. And it's supposed to only be 25 milliwatts, so that's pretty encouraging. Yeah, it generally not a bad quad. Would I recommend it if you've got $60 to spend on a quad and you don't feel like building an Inductrix, which can cost more than $100? It's probably a pretty good alternative. I mean, I don't know whether I'm going to be swapping these motors out, but they look like they can be swapped out, and that's a good sign. The flight controller is fairly generic. You can program quite a bit. I am going to need to change the rates. The rates were terrible. The yaw was pathetic. I mean, you saw me trying to turn corners, and then all of a sudden it caught and just flipped the thing right around. So I'm going to have to change that, but it having Betaflight means that I can just put my normal rates in, see how they go. Yeah, so I probably would recommend it if you've got the money and you don't mind spending it on. Well, it's a toy, and you already have the correct radio. Then yeah, it's not a bad little buy. If you didn't obviously have the money, I wouldn't say save up to get it. There are other quads you can get at around this price that are equally as good, but all in all, not bad. So yeah, that's going to be it for this video. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'm going to be charging this up again with the one battery that I've got, and giving it another few flies around the house. The charger wasn't bad. It ended up taking about 30 to 40 minutes to charge the battery, which is probably about right. I'm definitely going to be getting some more batteries, and I'm definitely going to be investing in a little charger for those batteries to make that a little bit more painless. Yeah, so if you have any questions, ask them, and I'll probably be able to answer them because I'll have flown this a bit more by then. And maybe think about subscribing if you want to see more content like this. Thanks very much.